All right, okay, I've got about an hour and a quarter's content to get into 45 minutes, which I'm probably going to take long from, so I'm going to speak at about 1.6 times normal talking pace. I'm excited about this anyway, so I'm going to speak more quickly anyway, because I do want to get excited. So if English is not your first language, you are going to struggle. You'll have to download it tomorrow and put me on slow motion. So welcome to Transform and Rise. I am very, very, very excited about this. It's been 2 years in the making. This is our first webinar. It's the first time we've launched Transform. So we will just be learning on the job a little bit with this webinar, and we'll be taking your feedback during the course as well. So I'm going to give everyone an opportunity now if they want to leave quite early, because do you know what? I've made a slight amendment to some of my slides and I've not got that deck, but it doesn't matter. These are still absolutely fine. So what is Transform and Rise wanting to achieve? And what that was going to say is, what do you want to achieve? So if some of the things I'm going to mention in the next minute you want to achieve, then stay on the webinar. If you think, no, that's not for me, then it'll be time to go. So it's about creating the best version of you. Can I, which is constant, never-ending improvement. Just making small improvements to yourself forever creates vast, vast changes. People massively overestimate what they can achieve in a day. You set out your task list, your job list, and you get hardly any of it done. We massively underestimate what we can do in 3 months, a year, several years, our lifetime. We can create, and we are deserved to create, amazing things, but you've got to have the right techniques, you've got to have the right habits, you've got to have the right people around you. And the wonderful thing is, in the Rise studio and throughout my lifetime, I've met so many of those people. And if we get together as a cohort and support each other, we can do incredible things. This is about self-care and self-love. I know it's difficult, but you have to be able to love yourself. You have to be able to care for yourself first. It's very hard to care for other people, care for the environment, care for animals, care for whatever, if you're not caring for yourself. It means you're only able to give a certain percentage of the real brilliant you. So a lot of this is going to be about self-care as well. And, you know, it's not about beasting yourself in the gym. It's about doing things gently and beautifully. We want you to prove something to yourself. It's not about proving things to others. It's not about photos, selfies with you looking as beautiful and sexy as you ever had been, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's not the core of this. It's about you proving to yourself just quite how brilliant you can be. And that might help yourself fall in love with yourself again, unless you have not have fallen out of love with yourself. Inspiring yourself and other people. One of the things I've loved about my journey over the last couple of years, I've been quite vocal about it. I'm pretty vocal about everything. And it wasn't the intention to inspire other people. The intention was to hold myself accountable by going public with what I wanted to achieve. But so many other people have sort of followed me on my journey and then reached out to me privately just to say, wow, thank you very much. Because of what you did, we've done similar, and it's really changed my life. And that gave me some of the motivation to get together and launch the Transform and Rise. If you want to have energy that starts from the moment you open your eyes and keeps on at a really rocket level, steady pace until you go to bed, earlier maybe than you used to, then this is the place for you. And there's nothing wrong with having a little supplemental nap in the middle of the day to keep those energy levels topped up. If you want your health to be, you know, your nails to look great, your eyes to shine, for you to live a long disease-free life and then have a quick death at the end of it, then the sort of things that we're going to talk about here, this platform for health, is revolutionary. It might never have to be in a hospital. If you're up for supporting each other, receiving support, which is sometimes hard, but also providing support to other people, sharing when you're having an issue and sharing your successes, then that's great. If you want to find some passion and purpose, and that doesn't mean you're going to find necessarily passion and purpose in doing yoga or eating a certain way, or having mindfulness and meditation in your life. But actually, when we start to put these foundations in place, it just opens up a huge shift to be able to find the real passion and purpose in your life. And as far as I'm concerned, when I had a little issue, which I'm going to tell you about in a few moments, and my life changed dramatically, I needed to find my passion and purpose before I could continue on my journey of life. And I think you'll probably notice by my excitement right now, I have found that passion and purpose. If you want to be sexy, now wrong with that. And sexy doesn't necessarily mean what other people see on the internet. Sexy can be just that feeling in yourself where you know you're being the sexy version of you that you can be. And the reason I put that in there is when people have been joining the Facebook group, I shouted out and I said, what do people want to achieve? And quite a few people said, I want to feel sexier, I want to be sexier. Not wrong with that at all. Even though I'm sounding a bit hyperactive at the moment, if you want to be more calm and balanced, then that's a wonderful thing as well. Since starting meditating about 5 months ago, I haven't shouted at the kids. And I used to shout at them quite a bit. Didn't do any good, but I did. If you want to increase your resilience, if you want to be more caring, be less of a knobhead, and more caring not just to yourself and to other people, but to the environment and maybe to animals, whatever floats your boat, then that's the sort of thing that we're going to be doing here. How will we do this? We're going to create empowering habits. I'm going to give you a little idea of how we're going to do that in a few moments. We're going to have a supportive community of like-minded people. It's going to start from the first cohort of 30, and that's going to increase. We're going to do a lot more exercise and yoga, again, gently. And we're going to have on a platform of mindfulness and meditation, along with the perfect nutrition for your body, which for most people might well be whole food, plant-based, but Trish will lead more on that areas. Then we want to inspire other people, because that, I think when other people are following your story, it gives you much more accountability to do it for yourself. What this is not, it's not six-pack abs in 14 days, although you could get that. It's not a fad diet. It's not about doing something for a few months and then ignoring it. It's about platforms for life. It's not for dabblers. It's not for somebody like, oh, I'm going to give it a go and just do bits of it. Or I'm not saying you have to do everything in day one. It depends how you react to change. Some people like me, I'm like, give me the whole list. I'm in this, Jen. Throw everything out. Tomorrow we're only eating air and water. Not that that's what you're going to be doing. I like it all for one and one for all, but other people like it a bit more gently. But if you're going to commit to it, commit to the process to get you to be in the best place you can be in 3 months' time. And we're not going to chase you. This is your transformation. So when you say I'm in and you commit to it, you can leave. Of course you are. It's not a prison camp. But we're not going to be chasing you around. So, oh, why didn't you turn up today? And you said you were going to come and you didn't. That's not what we're here for. So it is going to be founded at Rise Yoga. So that's where people are going to be coming for the meditation, for the yoga, and just a little bit about Rise. If you've not been with us before, we've had over 1,000 5-star reviews. We started just over a year ago, a year and a little bit. Out of those 1,000 reviews, I did a word cloud from the website wordcloud.com, and it took out the words that we used most. So if you're feeling a little bit apprehensive about joining our crazy gang, then you can see words like amazing, friendly, welcome, studio, great, tea, enjoyed, love, fun. So that's the sort of thing. There's nothing there saying hard, hate. So it's a nice, gentle, supporting environment full of awesome people who just come in and smile, and that makes as much of a difference as the actual yoga that we conduct ourselves. So we're the right place to be. Now to the agenda, we're starting. So my story, then I'm going to go into creating some happy habits, the pleasure trap, sleep, learning, mobile phone use, nutrition, and then into Jen's bit about yoga. Trish is going to do nutrition. Joe's going to do mindfulness and meditation. Then I'm going to tell you about Move GB, the offer that we have, our expectations, support, and the next steps. I'm going to try and get that all in before 8:15, because now is only the real start. So my story, 1994, I went to university, started buying houses when I was at university, bought about 20, bought houses on Ecclesall Road for 60 grand, then went into, thought I didn't ever have to work again after that, and I wouldn't have if I just stopped at that point, but risked it all, set up businesses, which is where I met both of these beautiful ladies, and it must just be complete destiny that we ended up getting together again. We all met in the corporate finance and banking world, gosh, 20 odd years ago. So I set up probably 15 different businesses, all with my twin brother, who probably would have had a lot less of a troublesome life if he had just become a solicitor, which I think is he would have probably preferred, but he went through it with me. And then we built a village in Bulgaria called Geshaview, 120 odd properties, 21 restaurants, bars. It's all about well-being, no cars, incredible. And then we moved into Reward Health, which was a platform to encourage people to live healthier lives using and hence getting cheaper insurance. And that I was purposeful and passionate about. I didn't want people to claim on life insurance and critical illness insurance because they'd had a heart attack. I wanted them to have the cover just in case. I wanted them never to get ill. But then we made about £1 million a month. Things were going great. We had properties abroad. Ego was growing massively. So was my tummy and my meat consumption and everything else. And then we were subject to a very large fraud, which, you know, not blaming anybody. We created all of the opportunities for that to happen. We met the people. It was our responsibility. But then in May 2016, we were told that we would be made bankrupt. And we lost everything. We lost every house, every car, every bank account. Credit cards went as well, so it wasn't all bad. Happiness didn't go, but we lost what we were passionate and purposeful about. And that sort of set both Rob and I into the wilderness for a while. We were at some point on Dragon's Den as well, and we took a good shoeing on that as well. That wasn't the best thing. So that started my transformation though. So when other people think, oh my God, were you upset? No, I wasn't, because I just thought, wow, I had that sort of childish enthusiasm of like, I've got nothing, I can do anything. I've got nothing to lose. What they couldn't take any more off me financially. I was great. I had the support of my family still. But I was drinking too much. I was 91 kilograms in weight. I've lost 18 kilograms from there. Then I smoked when I was social, and I was very, very social. And that helped having so many staff, and they always came out for a beer because I was always paying. I had the odd cheeky reward takeaway, which ended up being a couple of times a week. I love crisps. If I could have just eaten one food group for the rest of my life, it would have been crisps. I mean, you could just eat it for every single meal. Cheese, I like cheese, and you can melt cheese on crisps. You can have steaks. And all of these things, I was then sort of putting in some compensatory exercise, you know, a few times a week to try and stem the damage I was doing to myself, to try and actually, I never thought I looked as bad as I did in those photos. In my mind, you know, when you look at a mirror and you got your happy face on, you suck all the right bits in at the right time, it doesn't look quite as bad as in face reality. But I was a bit lost, so I started looking for my purpose and my passion. And I was in Sheffield in Commonside, and I walked past a yoga studio, and it said life transformation on the side of it. And that's why I say that Rise was forged with transformation, forged by transformation. We wouldn't have started Rise if it wasn't for the transformation of Jen and I in an unfortunate situation. And now Rise is extended and grows by the transformation of all the people who come there. First thing I decided is I'd become vegetarian, because my father-in-law and my wife are vegetarians, and they hadn't really shifted weight by more than a couple of 100 grams ever for the 25 years that I had known them. So I thought that would be a fairly decent thing to do. Started doing yoga. That was about 2.5 years ago. Loved that because I'd never done it before. And I just knew it was something I could get better at for the rest of my life. It was an infinite possibility in the yoga spectrum, but it wasn't quite for me in the way it was done. It was a bit too serious. It was a little bit too cliquey. And hence that's why Rise was all about making yoga really accessible and a trendy, funky urban yoga. I started learning again. I've been learning for years and years and years, 25 years. I've probably consumed over 1,000 personal development courses, but I stopped when things were a bit bluer. And I just started consuming books. About 6 months ago, out of nowhere, I woke up in one morning and thought, I don't need to drink anymore. And immediately did a video, put it on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Facebook. I had, I don't know, about 300 people comment just going, that's pretty much my story you've just told, Chris. Well done, we're supporting you. Loads of people joined me. And then I thought, oh, fuck, I've got to do this now, because I've sort of really outed myself to loads of people. I'm committed. Wow, what a decision that was. That for me was my keystone habit that just allowed so many other things to do. I was happy drinking. I didn't feel I was going around causing it. I was a happy drunk. I thought it was all under control, but wow. And I still have fun, incredibly. And alcohol-free drinks are all right, but we're not saying you all have to become booze-free. It's about moderation in many things. But for me, I don't do moderation. So I'm more of a zero or hero sort of guy. So zero in this place was best. Then I decided to go from vegetarian to vegan and went whole food plant-based. I prefer to use the term whole food plant-based. It doesn't include oils either, because actually a lot of vegans can eat some pretty unhealthy crap. Whole food plant-based to me is all about health. And I started studying that a lot more, and that just turned me on to how you can reverse heart disease and diabetes and things that the existing medical establishment wasn't necessarily doing too well with. I'm not a doctor, got no medical qualifications. I'm the son of a doctor, so I think that's probably good enough. Started then doing meditation and mindfulness, visiting Jo every week in her home studio and doing it every single day with an app called Calm. And it really, really chilled me out. It was like at the end of, I used it like the punctuation for the end of the day. Instead of having to be a glass of wine or a cigarette or a trip to the pub, a bit of meditation. And it just made me feel so calm. And then I started getting rid of all the apps. I got rid of all the news apps. And instead of reading the news, because I could not hear any more about Brexit or Trump, I just started to learn Spanish. And that started going really well. Then created a lovely morning routine for me because I getting up much earlier, still getting great sleep. And all my sleep then was like sleep to nourish my body, not sleep to repair from damage I was doing to my body. So I needed less sleep. I was still getting a lovely 7 hours, but it was beautiful sleep to cherish myself. So that was my transformation. So Rise Urban Yoga, 1 year old, 1,000 reviews. We do hot or not. About 70% of the classes are hot. Power, flex, chill, bliss, Pilates. If you haven't been, hopefully you will be coming soon. Full of wonderful, smiley people. Love you so much. Jen's right there now. So what we're going to tell you about with the actual content and the tools, these things do not work unless you've got the habits to put them into place. And you can't just rely on willpower, because willpower, you have a bit of it in the morning. It's like a muscle. It gets tired, and by the evening, the willpower's all gone. And willpower forces you to do things that you don't like doing because you know you have to. And that sounds to me like a pretty bloody miserable life. What we're talking about really about habits that make you happy. So habits can be positive, empowering, and they can be negative, disempowering. And usually what happens, well, not usually, this is the way they do happen. You have a cue, something triggers that in you. It could be a television advert. It could be seeing someone else smoking. There's just thousands of things that will cue your body. And then that will create like a Pavlovian reaction, a craving, that feeling in your body where you need something. And that makes you unconsciously create a response. Then you take an action, and that might be to light a cigarette, get a drink, not go for a run, put the telly on, let Netflix just spool to it. Don't even have to touch it, and it just starts the next episode. Oh bollocks, I'll watch that episode as well and just get up a little bit later. And then you get the reward of any of those things, the nicotine high, the alcohol rush, the salty, sugary food. What mindfulness and meditation do beautifully is it allows you to be aware of this unconscious process going on in your mind. We can really help with that. So what you've got then is a cue. That's normally, let's think of bad habits, but if you want to create good habits, then make cues which are obvious to make you do good habits. Make the craving, make it attractive, make the response really easy, and make the reward really satisfying. So you might notice things that we do at Rise, make it easy for you to sign in. At the end of a class, you get a tea and you get a nice face cloth. That's a little immediate reward, because rewards have to be instant. We're into this instant pleasure rather than the long-term treasure. So the rewards that we get, there's no point in thinking I'm going to go to the gym every day and I'm going to be rewarded with an amazing body in a year. You've got to have the reward straight away. And that's, you get the adrenaline rush, you get stuff like that. But maybe give yourself a reward of putting some money in a fund or buying yourself some clothes you love or going out for a healthy meal. You know, make some more immediate rewards around creating the right habits, and you'll feel awesome about it. Go do it with friends. Then they're in your day, week, month, hour, you'll find that there are gateway habits. There are decisive moments that really change how your day is going to work out. And that could be getting up early as opposed to pressing snooze on the alarm. Actually, take it back one more step. It could be that you go to bed early to make sure that you don't have to press snooze on the alarm. Or it could be that you put your trainers on rather than your work shoes. It could be, for me, my big one was deciding not to drink, because that allows much more space for lots of other things in my life. But we'll be asking you to try and identify these gateway habits. And this isn't our teaching. These are just books that we're going to recommend and audio courses that we think you should do by using the Audible app. So here's a quick example. You want to get up early. Don't put your alarm right next to your bed, because then you can just go, ugh. And the last 3 days, one of my chargers failed, so I had to put it in the charger next to my bed rather than into its little foam bed, which I'll talk about later. And it was just too easy, and I so nearly pressed the snooze button. And then I thought, what are you doing, man? And I didn't, but it was so close. And that was the first time for months that I thought of doing it, just because I could. So you can design your environment as well. You can make things very easy for yourself. You can have your gym kit ready. You can have your phone where you have to move. You can have your healthy food in the fridge. You can hide the wine. You can make your environment set up for success. And we'll identify some habits as well, some big ones that stop you becoming the best version of you. All right, here's another one which I think is very pertinent, the pleasure trap. Now, what we're doing here is we're not talking about removing pleasure from your life. Absolutely the opposite. By following what we're going to recommend, you will have more pleasure in your life than you can possibly imagine. But the problem is, at the moment, you might be getting a lot of pleasure from things that aren't brilliant for you. So we might be removing those. And if you're only, ooh, well, my slide presentation went then. What's happened? Let's try putting that back on. Chris, here we go, start. I'll probably just touch something sometime. So I'm not going to be removing that pleasure, but just want to make sure you know that any of these disempowering things, this isn't about you. This is how humans have been built for millions of years, or at least 1 million years. So I'm just going to play a little video here, which might make sense. It's like 40 seconds, and hopefully it's going to work.
The motivational triad. This is a trio of biological mechanisms that nature has designed into every creature on Earth so they can survive to pass their genes on to the next generation. The first leg of the motivational triad is pleasure seeking.
And primarily 2 things are the cause of that, and those 2 things are food and sex. So in the case of a great white shark, it's basically got a neon sign flashing across its forehead saying food, sex, food, sex, food, sex. Unless it's a male, then it says sex, food, but it's pretty much the same thing.
The other 2 legs of the motivational triad are avoiding pain and doing everything with the least amount of effort.
Triad, and quite rightly, that was there for many reasons, and you've got to be grateful that we have this motivational triad which dictates human behavior, because if we didn't have it, you wouldn't be here. Because if we look back generations and generations and generations and generations, and your forefathers, they wouldn't have procreated, they wouldn't have been alive if their body wasn't naturally prompted by this motivational triad. But the problem is, over about the last couple of 100 years, and certainly in the last 50 years, things have started to change. So if you take the example of like just a takeaway or McDonald's, you can have this pleasure, press that too many times, you can have this pleasure of, let's say, the pleasure of salty sweet food in McDonald's. You can then avoid the pain of hunger, and you can make it as easy as possible by just driving to a drive-through. That's not what that motivational triad was like, but that is what rules so much of our life. And you can see exactly the same thing with regards to, I hope my slides are going to come back in a minute. You can see exactly the same thing with regards to drugs, alcohol, pornography, loads of these things where it's not what the human body was meant to do. Let's try it once more with this. Start. Can you see, ladies, can you see my, is it just a grey screen?
Grey screen.
Grey screen, that's no good, is it? I'm just going to ask in the chat thing, are we, Chase, grey screen, everybody, is it just a grey screen? That's quite naughty. Grey. Bobby, what's happening to my grey screen? Not to worry, because I have a non-slide based one. I will be able to get the slides back up, but whilst we have the grey screen there anyway, I shall make myself into big grey. That's a shame, isn't it? Because I had some more slides, which we will get back to them. We will get it back working. So let me just end that presentation. Start. Sorry about this, peeps. Nothing like a live fuck up to test if the meditation and mindfulness is really working and you are managed to keep calm under a little bit of pressure. It won't let me stop the presentation to then start a presentation. So that's, there we are. All right, so we're back. I'm just going to go to there. I'm going to give this a little bit of a rest and just talk through my remaining few slides because I haven't got that much to do, and then I can put the ladies on and hopefully we'll be able to get theirs to work. They won't have to go through the same thing as well. So here we are. We've just gone past the shark. We've seen my fat tummy, and that's it. So obviously it was about gaining pleasure, avoiding pain, expending as little energy as possible, and that was what survival was all about, but that's no longer the case. Mindfulness really helps here, just as we mentioned earlier about forming habits, because you can see things where you go, oh, that's going to give me pleasure, that's going to avoid me pain, that's going to make things easier for me, but is it going to be the long-term place I want to be? Just make you a bit more control of your subconscious. Then my next slide was going to be about mobile phones. So delete unnecessary apps that suck time out of you and put on apps that really empower you. So I got rid of all my news apps. I got rid of my social media apps, but I didn't get rid of my social media accounts. What I did is I just went onto them through Google. So it made it harder for me to access them in that second, and I replaced them with doing a bit of Spanish or something like that. Turn off your notifications so you don't keep getting that pattern interrupt and making yourself grab your mobile phone. Make your mobile into a university. I just think it's absolutely incredible the amount of all these slides are available for you to download as well. If you look at on the right panel, you can download the presentation. So probably another way of doing it. If we look at what particular apps are available as well, I would go for things like, and I'll send all these through. Obviously, we've got the Rise app, we've got the Move GB app, MyFitnessPal, the Calm app is a belter, Habit Share, Insight Tracker, DrinkWise, Forks Over Knives, Evernote, Trello, Duolingo, Yolt, and Credit Score. All of those should do really, really well. I'm just going to see if I can get a presentation back on now. Giving the internet a little bit of time to repair itself. I'm sure that's a technical way of doing it. It's looking like it might work. Look at that. Back in the room. There's my phone with my apps on. Looks much happier now. And there, the apps I mentioned, they're available to you. So next bit, sleep. We've got to get our sleep right. Sleep, it's the best bridge between despair and hope, is a good night's sleep. So it's the foundation for transformation. It's very, very hard to make big changes in your life or even a little change in your life if you're knackered. It's hard to do anything when you're knackered. It's hard to be happy when you're knackered. And I totally understand some people struggle with sleep, but you can stack the odds in your favor. I used to believe that if I slept 5 hours a night, I would get more done in my life. And hence, by being asleep, I was wasting time. I was just so pumped up to do stuff. That's bollocks, because it's been proven now scientifically that the more you sleep, the longer you live. So actually, you can have both of your cake and eat it. You can sleep more in that beautiful snoozy time and live a longer life. But you've got to prepare your environment. Get rid of your phone from the bedroom. Make it its own little phone room, where the phone goes to sleep in one bedroom, you go to sleep in another bedroom. Make sure that, a couple of hours before going to bed, the lights come down, you maybe have candles, that the temperature in your room is much colder or a good few degrees colder. Sleep with the windows open, get snuggled up under your duvet. Don't eat too close to going to bed or have big meals so your stomach's like burning away digesting food. Don't drink too much, especially as you get older, you'll keep needing to get up in the night for a wee. Keep having wee dreams, which are very, very dangerous, especially if you share the bed with someone. And do a little bit of meditation or mindfulness before you go to bed. It's a wonderful thing. On the Calm app, which you can get a month free with us, they have sleep stories, which is just amazing and very, very relaxing. Apparently they're about half an hour. I don't know, because I've never got to the end of one. I always fall asleep. Don't try to sleep. If you can't sleep, don't lie there going, I can't sleep, I've got to be up in 3 hours. What time is it now? Keep looking at your watch to find out what time it is. It doesn't matter. Just think, relax. Don't give a fuck about if you're asleep or not, because all you're thinking about, I'm not being asleep yet. And then you keep waking up, because you put your mind like that. You keep waking up, I'm still not asleep. You were asleep, just woken up to check if you're asleep. Be consistent with the time you go to bed and when you get up. I know it's hard, and you don't have to be like a complete mood hoover to do this. Jen did give me a warning the other day when we were going out. I went, no, let's not be out too late, Jen, because I want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. She just looked at me and I went, okay, I'll just have a nap. And nap like a cat. Nothing wrong with napping when you get back from work in lunch break. And it's all important to understand if you're an owl or a lark as well. I do feel sorry for owls. It's great when you're at university and you're the fun of the party, but life is built nowadays for larks. They expect you to get up early, go to work. It's not built for owls who like to sleep into maybe 11 o'clock in the morning. And there's biological reasons for that. When we used to be in our little groups living out in the savannah, some people had to stay up late at night, some people had to get up early in the morning so we could protect the group of people. But unfortunately, it is harder being an owl. But if you are an owl and you recognize that, then that's fine. You've got yoga classes in the evening. You've got jobs that will allow you to do afternoon and evening shifts. You're probably going to have a bit of a struggling time to try and get the best out of yourself if you're trying to do something where you have to conform to what larks do. Once you stop learning, you start dying. So carry on learning. Audible, Netflix, podcasts, apps, Google, YouTube, nutritionfacts.org, the best nutrition website that I've found. School prepares us to learn, but we really have responsibility, especially with our phones, where there's just so much in there to learn forever. I've got all sorts of ways that you can get onto these, and we'll be recommending books in the group to study together. They're really they're on audible books. Some of them might be a bit boring for you, in which case I hope you get to sleep. But learn stuff as well. You're not going to transform your life by not submitting your brain to learn new stuff. And there is so much amazing information out there. And when you read it and listen to it, you just want to share it with other people. And now you can share it in our group.
Hello, everyone. I am not going to speak as long as Chris did, so you'll be glad to hear. But just to sort of tell you a little bit about me to start with. So I worked in the corporate world of banking and finance, selling mortgages as a business development manager, and I absolutely loved my job. There were long hours, there were targets to meet, had pressure from managers calling me, and then the constant phone calls and demands from brokers. And I hate to say this, but Chris was one of the demanding ones. But I've got to say, though, he was always like full of fire, and that hasn't changed. He's always had a passion for whatever he does. So it's great to see that he's still got that. So obviously I was very stressed, and I used to meditate, and what I used to do was I'd get stressed, meditate, and I'd feel great. And then I'd stop meditating, then I'd get stressed, and then I'd feel great again. So it was a bit like Groundhog. It's just a vicious circle, basically. And I was always looking for happiness outside of myself. And that used to be in the form of shoes. So I used to indulge my passion for shoes, and I bought myself a pair of Jimmy Choos. And I realized very quickly that not only were they very uncomfortable, but they really didn't make me happy. Well, they did for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then I was thinking, well, is that it? There's got to be something else. And that's how I sort of came to sort of find my purpose. And within the space of 3 months, I got made redundant. My mum died, and then I had my son Alex, and quite significant things to happen in your life. And that's when I sort of got into meditation more, and I just loved the way it made me feel, and I wanted to share this feeling and the benefits of meditation with everybody else. So I started to have one-to-one teachings with a Buddhist priest, and I also got myself qualified in meditation and mindfulness, and I started volunteering at a meditation centre. And my friends, including my husband, were like, are you going to shave your head, sit on top of a mountain and start wearing sandals? And they were actually deadly serious. And it just made me realise that maybe the way forward was a more modern way to meditate, where there was no humming or chanting, and people maybe felt a bit more comfortable, and maybe no sandals, unless they were Jimmy Choos, of course. But joking aside, obviously with meditation, I welcome all shaved heads and all people wearing sandals. There's no prejudice there at all. So a bit about what meditation's about and what meditation gives you. It does give you clarity and focus and a belief in yourself. it helps us to let go of trying to control our thoughts about what's happened in the past, and also trying to control what makes us anxious about the future. Because at the end of the day, all we can control is the here and now. And with meditation, it gives you that calmness to be present and to be able to deal with things from a position of calm rather than reacting or overreacting to a situation. But as with anything, it requires a regular practice. You wouldn't go to the gym once, you wouldn't go to karate and expect to be fit or have a black belt. It's about a regular practice. And the great thing about meditation is it can take as little as a few minutes a day. So what are the benefits of meditation? So just a few key ones. It improves your sleep and your health. I used to not be a very good sleeper. I'd have more bad night's sleep than good, and I would lie in bed thinking about what I'd done that day or what I should have done and what I was going to do the next day. And I'd also be thinking about the meteorite that was going to hit the house at any moment and kill us all, because that's what happens. You start off with a very small thought about something and it grows into something catastrophic. And obviously when you wake from a bad night's sleep, assuming you've had any, you're lethargic, you've got no focus, you can't concentrate, you're irritable, you have a sort of negative effect on the rest of your day, you crave sugary foods because you need energy. And a good night's sleep obviously has a positive effect, helps you feel focused and full of energy. And then obviously going on to stress and anxiety, our bodies, when we're stressed and anxious, our bodies are flooded with cortisol. We need cortisol because it's the fight or flight. You need that. But with constant releases of cortisol, it affects your immune system, makes you ill, makes you anxious, and can make you quite depressed. So the benefits of meditation there can help you with reducing stress and anxiety. And then it gives you more focus. You stop shouting and blaming other people. And the result is that your relationship with your loved ones, your family, and even your work colleagues is improved. You become a nicer person and you start to like yourself. And it's because you're not reacting or overreacting to situations. And I know Chris mentioned that he hasn't shouted at the children for 4 months. And an example for me would be that getting ready for the school run, you know, running late. I've asked Alex to put his shoes on 5 times, to turn the telly off, and he's still sitting there. The dog then pukes up on the cream carpet. And in days gone by, I would have just completely lost it. I would have blamed Alex for the dog throwing up, and then it would have just been mayhem. We'd have gone to school, I'd have been shouting, I'd have dropped him off. I'd have then started to feel guilty because of obviously the atmosphere, and then the rest of my day would have just been completely negative. But as it was, thought, okay, the dog's been sick, it's not her fault, clean it up, I'm going to be a few more minutes late. And that's the difference that meditation can have. It stops you overreacting or reacting to a situation, so you deal with it from a position of calm. So there's many, many benefits, but the one that I love the most is the feeling of that inner balance, that inner peace, and that inner calm and stillness that you get, not only when you're meditating, but in everyday life. And you just feel like you can deal with anything. And it just gives you that positive, happy feeling. And you're not bothered about the things that you haven't got. You're focused on the things that you have got in your life, and you're more focused on the here and now. And on our meditating journey together, I'm going to be sharing with you techniques that will help you with sleep, anxiety and stress, and help you to find calmness and clarity in what is often a frantic and busy world that we live in. And the topics that we're going to cover are learning to breathe, very underrated. It's about being grounded with the breath and grounded in meditation, dealing with stress and anxiety, living in the here and now, and learning to let go of the past and stop worrying about the future. and looking at who are you, what do you want out of life, and learning about yourself and what you really want, why we get angry and impatient, and why we feel guilty for not being busy all the time. And again, that goes back to the self-care. We need to have that self-care. And I hear people saying, oh, I'm being a bit selfish. You're probably not. You need that self-care in your life before you can care for others, as Chris said. And what does happiness really look like? With meditation, when you have that calmness and inner peace, you're with the present moment in the here and now, you really do learn to appreciate everything that's right in front of you. Love, gratitude and kindness, that's my favourite thing of all to do. We all need love, we all need gratitude, and we all need kindness. Kindness for ourselves and kindness for others. Believing in yourself. You know, we grow up in a world with so much social media where people display all these wonderful things about their life, and it makes you doubt that your life isn't as good. It's about believing in yourself and then finding your authentic self as well. So there's going to be quite a lot that we're going to be covering. And just to sort of finish off, some of my favourite inspirational quotes are: create a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. And that goes again back to social media in a lot of respects. The goal of meditation isn't to control your thoughts, it's to stop letting your thoughts control you. We have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and most of those thoughts require an action, a reaction, or a judgment. And we spend half of our day thinking about the thoughts in the past and worrying about the future. And meditation is very much about being in the here and now, in the present. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. And I'm a very firm believer with gratitude. The more you give out, the more you get back. And finally, the most precious thing we have is time. Don't wait for the end to come knocking, because it will come for all of us. There's no doubt about that. Live every moment now to the full. And I think with anything, you have to feel it to want to make that change. And when you do with meditation, it's transformational to the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you react. And you'll notice these subtle little changes and these differences, and so will the people around you. So thank you very much. Thanks for listening, and I'm looking forward to meditating with you soon.
Thank you very much. Right, what I'm going to do now is play a video of Jenny talking about the rise bit. It's 2 minutes. Then we're going to have another go at trying to go across the oceans to Trish. If the Trish bit doesn't work, Trish, what we'll do is just record your bit, because you say it's only 5 minutes. Then you can send that to me as a little video, and I'll just bang it out to everybody as well. So they will have it, pretty soon. So we'll have a go. Let's just stick Jenny on. So here is the good wife.
Hello everybody, I'm Jen. You might have met me before. If not, welcome. I am wife, long-suffering wife to Chris, and we have 3 children together, and I've been teaching yoga for quite a few years now. I've been practicing for even more years. And I used to be a PE teacher, so I was a hardy teacher on the hills out in the Peak District. I've now transformed to hot yoga, so there's a bit of a temperature differential, but it's all good, And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing with Transform. So, you will be signed up for 2 classes per week, but then you have a full range of all the other classes as well, everything that we have to offer. But our Transform classes, there'll be 2 classes, and they will be fusion classes. So that's an amalgamation of all different styles of yoga that we offer. There were some nice, slow, chilled out versions, but then we might build up to some more challenging postures. But we're going to take your lead on it really and see where you want to go and what sort of level everybody's at. So don't worry, we're not going to be tying you in knots. It will be at the appropriate level for you. So yeah, you can come to any of the other classes, and by doing these Transform, these fusion classes, we hope that you will gain your confidence in order to maybe come and try some of the other classes which perhaps you thought were maybe out of your league, they're not, but perhaps you thought that. So maybe we can work together to find the confidence to try some other areas. So in summary, we'll be doing 2 classes per week, fusion classes between the different styles that we already offer, and we'll be turning them into something fun. We're offering them on a Monday morning and potentially a Friday evening as well, hoping that you can make both of those. There'll be 45-minute sessions where we'll be working through lots of different postures, maybe learning more about the fundamentals of yoga, and in order to increase your confidence and get you all ready to rock your mat. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you all soon.
So here we go. So what I'll tell you a little bit about myself and what I'm here to offer. I have been juicing for 38 years now. I started very young, and I have been studying nutrition and running Passion for Juice as a mobile juice business for the last 17 years. And I go a long way to please my clients. So I spend half my time in England and half my time in Australia. So 17 years ago, I completely redesigned my life to live my passion and my purpose. So Chris was talking very much about passion and purpose. So I do hope that you can hear me. I've got a few people watching, so give me a thumbs up or a love heart or something like that if you can hear me on this feed. Anyway, so yes, so 17 years ago, I completely redesigned my life to live my passion. And my passion was about sharing healthy, tasty, beautiful, tasty, sensational juices with people, and supporting them to be healthy. Now, after the birth of my second child, so I'm nearly 50, and I've got 2 boys. They are 11 and 8. And after the birth of my second child, I started studying nutrition. So I have now been studying nutrition for that amount of time, and I absolutely love supporting people to transform their lives. And often it's about, it can be about the food that we're eating, or certainly the food that we're not eating. So I'm here as part of this package to help you have a look at the habits that you have around food, but also that goes beyond food, because when we change what we eat, we will also be changing how much we exercise, and how well we sleep, and how joyful we feel. And so I have a very holistic view of health, and I look at people as individuals, and I look at people's lifestyles, and look at how we can change your lifestyle to help you feel more happy and vibrant and joyful. So I'm totally dedicated to helping you achieve your results. I'm so dedicated because I was here at 5 a.m. this morning to help you feel amazing. So my mission and my purpose in this is to be of service to you, and to help you feel amazing, to help you feel joyful and more energized, and help you sleep better and feel happier and have more energy, but also feel calmer, and help you really create some great, amazing magic in your life. Okay, so this is me. Hopefully the slides are going to work. Oh my goodness, don't tell me we're going to have more hiccups here. Hang on, here we go. Right, so yes, here we go. So I'm an award-winning nutritionist. Guess what? I've just been awarded UK Nutritionist of the Year. So there we go. That's quite an accolade. So I've got a huge amount of educational work as part of this package. So each week we're going to look at a different habit. So whether it's smoking or drinking, or even being adequately hydrated, or what you have for breakfast, what you have for lunch, how much sugar you're eating, all of those things. We're going to look at those each week. And each week we're going to have the chance for you to provide me with some feedback. How are you feeling? How much energy do you have? How well are you sleeping? How well are you pooing? How much water are you drinking? So we're going to have the chance to tap in and go deep on all of those things that make a difference to your health. So how can I help you? So maybe some of your health goals for 2019 are around weight loss, or reducing medication, or overcoming some food allergies, or reducing your anxiety or depression, helping you feel more joyful and energized. Maybe it's about reducing the belly bloat, or getting your bowels working better. Or maybe it's about having more energy for doing the things that you love. Or maybe it's about your hormones and, your libido. or perhaps you're just confused over what to eat. So I'm going to help you with those things. And each week we're going to be able to go deep, and you're going to have the chance to ask questions and have me as a little bit of a holding your hand along the way to help you transform how you're feeling and what you're eating. So at the beginning, I'm going to be giving you a guided jumpstart. So it's a 4-day program with a whole ton of beautiful recipes in there that you can use to start to transform the way that you're eating. Now, all of these recipes are really easy to digest. They're designed to increase your energy. They're designed to help you kick your sugar cravings. And they're designed to give your digestion a break from processed foods, which will naturally leave you feeling more energized and feeling healthier and happier. So they're very, very easy recipes. They're stuff that they're all those ingredients are things that you would find very easily in Tesco's or your local health food shop. And it's going to come with shopping lists and that sort of thing. Now, if you wanted to take it a little bit further at any time during the program and you wanted to do a full and guided juice cleanse, that is also going to be available for you, because I have the shopping lists and the recipes and the menus and that sort of thing to help you create some transformation in your kitchen. So all of these meals are being made from scratch. You may need a little bit of equipment, which I can guide you into what sort of equipment. If you were looking at buying a juicer or a food processor, we can have a look at that sort of thing, and we can help you actually transform your pantry and your kitchen. So if that's something that you want to do, that's available to you. Okay, so the Jumpstart meals are all the menus, and the Jumpstart meals that I'm going to share with you are packed full of vitamins and enzymes and minerals. They're easy to digest, which means that they're able to be assimilated. They're able to be bioavailable to your body. They're also fantastic for stabilizing blood sugar, and they will have healthy fats. So, and stabilizing fats and blood sugars are really important to making sure that you are curbing your cravings and not feeling hungry. You're actually feeling fed and you're feeling energized. So that's really important to allow your body to relax enough to release some toxins. And so this is a fabulous way to consume a variety of different fruits and vegetables at one time. And it's also a fantastic way for cleansing the body and supporting the body so it can let go of some of those toxins. And it's also a very easy way to add fiber into your diet for optimal bowel function. And we're going to be talking a lot about supporting the body so it can heal. And the main route of elimination is your bowels. So it's really important that we support your bowels all the way through this process. So we are going to be talking about your food, your mood, and your poo. And I'm going to be getting you to fill out a food, mood, poop diary so we can keep track of how you're feeling and how well you're eliminating. And that's about using your bowels daily, regularly, and feeling like a full evacuation. So we are going to be talking about poo. Okay, so I'm really here to also help you each week with some questions and learning about what it is that you need to eat to feel amazing and how you can start to feel amazing by changing your diet. We are going to be looking at juices and smoothies because I think they are the most fun and the most amazing way to get more nutrient-dense fruit and vegetables into your diet. So I'm going to be sharing with you some amazing recipes that I really hope that you will love. And the smoothies give you more energy, they help you sleep better, they're going to help you lose weight. So why would you want to change your diet? The health of your body depends on your digestion, and we are what we eat, and food is medicine. So when you blend your foods and when you change your diet to include more fruit and veg, you're supporting your digestion. And when your body doesn't have to work so hard to break down nutrients, and there's enzymes present in your food, you're going to naturally have more energy. So did you know that 80% of your energy is spent digesting and assimilating your nutrients? So when you're having lots of fresh fruit and vegetables in the forms of juices and smoothies and salads, you've got those enzymes present. So your body has to work far less hard to digest that food. So instead of having to prepare and eat a cup of healthy greens or fruits, you can pack them into smoothies. But I'm going to encourage you to be eating your fruit and juicing your fruit and vegetables. I'm going to encourage you quite a big variety in the meal plans that we will talk about. Okay, so how can you expect to feel after working with me for a month or 3 months? you are going to experience increases in energy. We're going to reduce the amount of inflammatory food, so you're going to feel less achy, less tired, less puffy, and you're going to feel more joyful and energized. You will have better moods. You will sleep better, and you will, if you are a person who suffers allergies, because that's my area of expertise, I will tell you that for 32 years of my life, I had very debilitating asthma and very debilitating allergies. I had peaked at 12 anaphylactic episodes in 1 year. I had to carry an EpiPen. I had a whole host of medication, Ventolin, Atrovent, Beclofort, and antihistamines, and I was consuming those on a daily basis. Now, I'm happy to say that I've been medication-free for 18 years. So if you're a person who suffers allergies and you want that extra support, or you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed and you're stressed and you're reaching for booze, I've been booze-free for quite some time now, and I'm here to help you make those changes in your life, and you will massively feel better. And if weight loss is one of your goals, that is also going to happen. Now, I treat everybody as individuals, so we're all completely different, and some people do thrive on vegetarian diets and some people do need meat. I'm not going to say to you, you need to be 100% raw vegan. That may not work for you, but we are certainly going to be increasing the amount of fruit and veg in your diet. We are going to be also encouraging you to use herbs to warm yourself up when you're feeling hungry and to support the digestive health. So we love using mint and cilantro and cardamom and ginger and nutmeg and cinnamon, those herbs and spices in our meals to help you feel full and to help curb sugar cravings. Okay, so if you're a person who is struggling with fatigue and food allergies, or you're suffering regular common colds, or you have a low immune system and you're feeling stressed and anxious, and you have adrenal fatigue, or you're struggling to lose weight and you have some skin problems, then all of you are going to benefit from the meals and the nutritional package that we're going to put together as part of the Transform program. So there we go. I invite you to make sure you be part of this program. It's going to be amazing working with 3 experts who we all walk our talk. So we will have some one-on-one chats available to you if that's what you want. So I really look forward to working with you, helping you with cravings, to improve your vitality, to remove and reduce allergies, and to improve sleep and improve your digestive system. So I really look forward to working with you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry about the technical issues that we had on the webinar before, but I hope you're still there listening. Let's see if you are still there. Thank you. Give me a wave if you're still there. Hopefully this has been beneficial. We really look forward to working with you at least over a month, and hopefully over 3 months that you're going to stay with us for the entire program. And yeah, I really look forward to working with you. So hopefully we're going to have a much more robust webinar program available. And thank you so much. And this will be available as a recording on Facebook as well. So thank you so much. I'm Trish Tucker-May. I'm back in the UK in May as well. So the majority of the work that we'll be doing here will be on some sort of webinar platform. But we can also, if you wanted to dive in deeper, we can also do Skype one-on-one catch-ups if that's going to be beneficial to you. So thank you so much for watching, and this is a little bit of introduction to how we're going to be working over the next 12 weeks. So yes, I've got a couple of love hearts there and a couple of thumbs up. If you've got any questions for me right now, then please feel free to ask, because this live is still going on. I know it's any questions before I sign off from Australia? I'm going to go out kayaking now before I hit the desk for the day. I'm very, very lucky that I live very close to the lake. Just a couple of doors down is the big, big lake, and I'm surrounded by 39 beaches here. So I go a long, long way to make sure I'm getting enough vitamin D in my life. And I hope that you're all nice and warm and enjoying the hot yoga. I think that's a fantastic idea. I'm a member of the yoga studio as well, and I absolutely love it. So thank you so much for watching. That's a little bit about how I'm going to be helping you in this program, and I really look forward to working with you all. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, welcome back. Thanks very much for that, Trish. So we're now going to move into details of the actual offer. So I'll just bring my presentation back up again. Hopefully everything is working correctly. Ooh. 1 second. Just upload this. So this will be using MoveGB. I don't know if any of you have used MoveGB before. Been going for a few years now, been in Sheffield, I think, since 2015. But it allows you to have one membership in order to access 210 different venues in Sheffield. So there is a mixture of 40 gyms, 13 pools, 85 different sort of yoga studios, 81 different fitness establishments, things like trampolining as well, which is great fun, and martial arts, dance. Here we are. Let's start this. Get you the details there as well. So what you can have is 210 venues. You can use 3 free sessions per week. So we'll be using 2 of those at Rise, 3 plus actually, and 1 of them will be with doing meditation at the Rise studio. You can then have up to 7 free taster sessions per week. So that means you can visit any of these other 210 venues for a single time. So you could go to all 61 of the different dance things, just have fun with it, see what you like, what you might want to commit to more regularly. And the cost of that is £15.19 per week. So that's cheaper than what it would be directly with MoveGB. We've got a slight discount there through Transform at Rise. And we'll be signing you into the Transform classes each week. So the 3 classes are compulsory. If you can't make them, you can't make them. But even if you can't make it, we're going to sign you into it because we're going to be there with the instructors, the class, and your space on the mat. So what we're going to, the actual offer then, so we're going to provide a lot of support and motivation. And in fact, you're going to provide a lot of the support and motivation yourself, as well as being part of the group, sharing and supporting everybody else. You'll be doing 3 plus MoveGB sessions per week, called a Rise Yogas, Mindfulness and 1 Nutrition webinar with Trish. And that'll probably be on Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. In addition to that, we will be giving you 5 additional Rise passes to use per week. Not that you might need that many. So that'll be a value of £45. So our 5 packs at Rise for 5 sessions, and you can use these for any of our sessions, cost £45. That's the cheapest we do those at. And in fact, 1 session with Joe is £15, and just a single class pass at Rise is £15. So in reality there, that's £90 if you were just going to buy those offers directly per week. So what's that? £360 a month, but clearly you're not going to be spending that. We'll also give you 1 month free Calm membership. So the actual cost will be £100 up front. So that's £100 up front. Commitment fee, also for the Rise sessions, and then it'll be £15.19 per week to MoveGB. So the way that would work, if you say, yeah, I'm in, there's only 30 places, then we would, you pay the £100, and we'd take some information off you. We'd set you up with an account with MoveGB. MoveGB would then get in touch with you to take the bank details, etc. for your £15.19 per week. You would be billed every 4 weeks by MoveGB. So minimum, it says 1 month, but it's minimum 4 weeks. You'll sign up to the initial 4 weeks with MoveGB and a maximum of 12 weeks. But if you get to the end of that 12 weeks and you're like not feeling you're ready to just continue this transformation on your own, albeit hopefully with the group of people you're in as well, you can join again. So I know what you're thinking, incredibly good value. So what we can expect from you, we don't want this to just be for everybody, because I'm not prepared to spend my time chasing people, asking why they didn't turn up when they said they would. If you really, really want this and you're prepared to make some, significant effort towards it, then you'd be more than welcome. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to hit hurdles. It doesn't mean that life's not going to get in the way. Of course it is. But you know in your heart of heart if you're giving something 100%. Wanting you to create a daily practice of meditation, to do things like park your car a little bit further away, to when you reach for a bag of crisps, to think, no, I'm not going to do that. Because what we do want to see is over this 3-month period, we want to see such transformation that you're really motivating yourself and other people. And we're not just talking physical transformation, we're talking mental transformation, giving yourself that time out, supporting, learning, reading, the things that you know can really help you cherish your mind and body. We want you to engage and support with the rest of the group. And that could be from asking for help, and also to provide help and sharing things that you've done really well, successes that you've had, transformation photos. If you say you're going to come, then come, turn up. If you can't for some reason get stuck in traffic, then let us know. Just don't do a no-show, because we're there expecting you. You've got to want it and you've got to be ready for it. Sometimes the pain of your existing position in life might not be significant enough to make you really want to do this now. Or it might be that you think, yeah, that does sound for me, but it's not going to be ready till March. I've got a few other things I need to get sorted, or I want to work on this other thing I'm doing at the moment as well. So you can get 3 group sessions. You can be able to, I want you to engage in the group. We can have a WhatsApp group per cohort as well. So that will be where we put in information, because it gets a little bit lost in Facebook, and Facebook is very good now at only really sharing information as from businesses, if businesses pay for that, and we haven't got the funds to pay for trying to contact you to tell you about stuff. So we'll be using WhatsApp. Want you to go public, out yourself, tell people what you're doing. It'll make you more committed to it. And if possible, let's do it for charity as well. So we're doing it for Sheffield Children's Hospital. It'd be great if you could raise, say, £50, £60 towards Sheffield Children's Hospital, just by saying to your friends what you're doing. And we've got a link as well there. We'll put it in the group about how you can easily set up a little charity page in Facebook where the money goes to Sheffield Children's Hospital. And you can tell a little bit about why you're wanting to make a transformation, and hopefully encourage other people to do it as well. So after this, you will be in the email and in the Facebook group, what have you, and I'll send some other information. I'll get you from all directions. It'll show you how to sign up for this. It'll be the first 30 people who will be on the group. We'll be starting in early February, as soon as we get the group full. If you're already a member of Rise, then what will happen is we will pause your existing membership when Transform starts. So you won't be double paying, and then we'll kick off your other membership and passes when the 3-month or 4-week or 12-week transformation ends. So I hope that ends everything that you need to say. I very, very much look forward to seeing you in the group. Thank you very much. Goodbye.